Hi, and welcome back to State of Flux, here with a review for Kevin Smith's current penultimate theatrical feature film, and that is Yoga Hosers. This is the much maligned movie, and the one that currently Smith kind of dings the most when he's referring to his filmic career and tends to make fun of. Before this, it was Jersey Girl, before that, it was Mallrats, but this one is the one he kind of hits hardest at. Of his original content films. And in watching it, I get it. This movie is unflappably stupid. Just like unyieldingly dumb. However, there's a weird watchability to it, because you're kind of like watching the film trying to figure out where the hell it's even going to go. And much like Red State or Tusk before it, the film's benefit is you have no idea the direction it's going to go, and so it does keep you invested on some level. However, unlike those two films, I think this is the weakest of those three journeys of where's this going to go. This film is about the two Colleens from Tusk. This is a kind of, much like Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, all inhabited the same world and were originally called the Jersey Trilogy. This is the True North Trilogy of Canadian horror features. The first being Tusk, the second being Yoga Hosers, the third is the yet unmade Moose Jaws. And the two Colleens were the two clerks in the previous film that helped Johnny Depp's character track down and find out the person who is turning the people into the walruses. And so they've hit a level of notoriety and public fame for helping unmask the killer in the previous film. In this film, you just kind of follow them on their day-to-day life as two teen girls in Canada who are practicing really strange yoga with a fun little performance from Justin Long as the yoga instructor. Completely separate character from his character in Tusk. And then throughout the film, they're trying to get together with this guy that one of the Colleens has a crush on. They're in a band themselves with Adam Brody as the drummer that they kind of make fun of. Through they don't realize that this guy that they kind of like is a twisted killer, and he plans to kill both of the Colleens and dismember their bodies. And when they invite them over to their convenience store called A to Z, which is a funny Canadian turn of the phrase from A to Z, he tries to make the move to kill them, but something strange happens. They get attacked by Bratzies. These are tiny little human sausage Nazis, made by a Canadian mad scientist who was in line with Hitler during World War II, who put himself into cryonic sleep to be woken up 100 years later. But these girls, who were jamming so hard on their electric guitar, blew out the electricity underneath their encampment and woke up not only the mad scientist, but the Bratzies. And then this guy is trying to kill them and unleash his Bratzies onto the world. As I say, this one goes in kind of unique and interesting directions. The other character that returns from Tusk is Guy Lapointe, and reprised by Johnny Depp. Now, he was the worst aspect of the previous film. Easily, he's the best aspect of this film, playing the exact same character, but the difference is the tone of his character fits the tone of this film, whereas the tone of his character does not fit the tone of Tusk. And I feel like that came down to two very simple things. One, that character was never written for Johnny Depp in Tusk. That character was written, as previously announced, he had a part for Quentin Tarantino. And Tarantino was going to play the detective character in that. And so his dialogue in that fits more of a Tarantino speech. And when Tarantino passed, Johnny Depp came on board. It was a really... it's not a bad performance that he gives in that movie, it just didn't fit. Whereas this time, Smith had the ear for Johnny Depp and wrote the part for Johnny Depp in this film, therefore his character works. And Johnny Depp's an exceptional actor and pulls this off. And he's easily the highlight of the film. I talk a lot of the two Colleens. They are played by Harley Quinn Smith and Lily Rose Depp, the daughters of Kevin Smith and Johnny Depp. And they were both fine in Tusk, merely passable at best. They both step up their game in this film. Like, Harley Quinn seems to do best with the dramatic moments. Her comedy falters a little bit. She has a little work to do to grow. We will see her do that in the coming years. I think she has grown into an exceptional young actress that can really, really go far if she chooses to do so. And Lily Rose Depp is quite good in this film. She works throughout the whole thing, and the camera seems to really capture her well. She seems like this could be a young actress that is going to go on to some kind of stardom, even from this kind of silly little feature. But as far as negatives go, it's just unyieldingly dumb. The humor is hit or miss at best. That said, I do like the fact that we have a teen-driven film starring two female lead characters that aren't being traditionally overtly sexualized or any thing like that, who are just kind of being themselves and having fun doing so, but also being completely dismissive to the world around them as their characters kind of want to be. There's something refreshing about that. And also, I can't help but recognize that I'm 35 years old watching this thing that's clearly aimed for teenagers. And so my mind's eye is not necessarily in the same mind's eye that a teen watching this would be. However, I also remember how I was back as a teenager, and I feel like if this had come out when I was 15, I would have been all over this movie, because I liked weird, obscure, abstract films that were kind of off the beaten path. And this very much would have appealed to me at that point. And there's a charm to the two Colleens that are ever present throughout the film. So this one isn't a bad movie. This is a movie that I'm just kind of dismissive of, and I think the people that really did hate on the movie are kind of missing the point, that this wasn't necessarily aimed for them. This was probably aimed for young teens and teen girls specifically. But the one criticism that I do think is entirely valid for why a lot of critics kind of panned this is Smith had from Cop Out, Red State, and Tusk sort of battle with critics because he, for reasons, got into fights with critics and stuff like that. And the ultimate goal of the bad guy in this, the Bratzies are trained to attack down and kill anybody who criticizes their way of being. And it's a knock on criticism itself. That, I think, is kind of a misstep. Like, don't attack the critics, man. Like, I get it. You put your heart and soul into every project you make. I get that. And so if somebody doesn't respond to it, they're not... His argument has always been that if somebody doesn't respond to the thing that you put your life into for 2 or 3 years or whatever, they're saying, fuck you and fuck everything you care about. Fuck off, essentially. And that's not necessarily what criticism is. Criticism, true criticism, that isn't just shitting on whatever product it is there to offer like ways of seeing or viewing a product in a different way. And I think that Smith has always had an issue with that. And so, I mean, that's, I guess, my biggest complaint is this film's ardent goal in the last act to dismantle film criticism in a completely, like, buffoonish way. But yeah, this movie is okay. I'd give it, like, I'm probably being a little generous, but 2.5 stars. Like, if I were 15 watching this, I totally would have dug it back then. That's why I'm giving it 2.5 stars. Now as an adult, it's dumb but harmless kind of film that has some unique ideas, some laughs. Ralph Garman is kind of a standout, just doing kind of his Ralph Garman thing from Hollywood Babylon. This film, much like Tusk, is just jam-packed with Easter eggs from the various Smodcast and Smodcastle properties. And Jason Mewes has a fun little cameo, as does Stan Lee. So yeah. Let me know what you guys thought about Yoga Hosers. I think it's an okay film. Where do you guys land on it? Next week, I'm going to be talking about Kevin Smith's current final feature film, which is Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, as well as giving you my definitive ranking of all of Kevin Smith's feature films. So stay tuned next week for that. That should be pretty fun. Yeah, and enjoy. I'm looking forward to talking more about Harley Quinn Smith next week's show. Thanks for watching. Hit the bell, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and peace.